you should start the podcast.
Maybe one day. Derevianko to.
Good one.
Derevianko.
Derevia.
Derevianko.
Derevianko.
This will stay in video, so.
Oh, no. For the
So I was the woman who wanted it all, and I still want it all. Just to be sure, but it's the way I want it all. I think is different than what I wanted. So when I was a teenager, I remember that I was really mesmerized by all those movies when I saw the women who can manage business and job and CEO position and like have kids and a family and be successful in every sphere of life. And I think this is what I strived for. But then as I was growing up and trying it all, I realized that it doesn't really work like that. And when you're in the moment and you're trying to build your business and career, unfortunately, or in my case, it didn't work that I could be as good and as successful at home and with my family and with friends. So I had to choose what will be the priority at the moment. And maybe it's my age, but for a very long time, the priority was my job and my career. And it still is, but I think the way it is a priority and the way I see it right now is transforming. And I think today we probably will have more questions than answers still, because I'm still learning and I'm still adapting. But the good side is that I feel like I'm open for those changes eventually. And eventually all those transformations, which are extremely painful, but I'm allowing for them to happen.
So maybe this is why we are here today, to talk a bit about the different side of that, about being strong, successful, independent woman, but maybe to choose the right strategy for that. You said a little bit about priority, and tell me please more, what did you mean?
Priority, I do not believe that at one point of life you can be doing your best in all spheres of your life, in your job, in your family, in your self-care, friends, health, mental health, and all of those things. I feel like depending on the period of life you choose, what is the thing you focus on right now, and then other things become more secondary. And I think it's fine. Like you don't need to, and like you cannot. You only have 24 hours a day.
Definitely.
8 of which you ideally sleep, ideally. So, but because I'm still in my 20s, I feel like in your 20s, I mean, and it depends on the person. In my case, I chose education and career, and then I felt like other things are just going to happen because that's how life happens. But at different points of life, I also realized if I don't pay attention to my health suffers. If I don't pay attention to my friendships suffer. If I don't pay attention to my relationships, romantic relationships suffer. You cannot take things for granted. And the same with career. So I think it depends on the priorities. And but I also feel like in the world we live in, it's hard to sometimes to understand what are your priorities. Like we are taught to think that our priorities are either family, and there are some women, and I guess we're here to talk a little bit about women.
Yes, this is why we're here, and this is why you are here. It's actually very interesting because today we're talking two business coaches who are sitting on one table to find out the right balance and to talk about femininity in business, which is very important. And I think this is why we actually agreed for this podcast, because it was the idea of talking the business and success in feminine way. So what would you put in this? You said that you've been doing a lot of career, a lot of education, a lot of things that are pretty heavy, and your balance went away, and now you feel the need in this to feel more feminine, to feel more, I don't know, which is your insight from this?
So as I said, probably more questions than answers, at least when it comes to feminine energy still. I think when I started and I was hearing about this whole feminine energy thing, it seemed more like a fairy tale than the reality. And at least it was just hard to implement. And So I've been all in masculine, and then from time to time, I mean, you cannot hide what you are, right? If you are a joyful person or a happy person, like you cannot just put yourself in a black suit and then be a robot if you are not a robot. So
Yeah,
I
it,
feel
it
like
can work, I guess, yeah, for a while because it worked for you, because you can be very strong, independent woman in a way of just proving yourself at work, just being cool. And this is what I want to talk about this, because sometimes, like you said, you put in a black suit, you come home, and what you will face there?
that you're unhappy and that you're exhausted because you've been faking it the whole day to make it work. Yeah, I think that a lot of people take me as a very strong and independent person. I think I do not take it that way. And I think this is also the way how most strong, independent women do. It's never enough. You always want more and you always need to do more and you always need to achieve more. So in my case, I think that, I didn't feel like I'm strong enough and independent enough. So I was always striving for more until I think the end of last year, when I until you want nothing, like you kind of achieved it all. You earned the money you wanted. You achieved the goal projects. You work with cool, amazing organizations. You work on the projects you ever dreamed about. And then you're like checking in with yourself, with your heart, when you eventually got a moment to inhale and exhale. And you're like, but am I happy? And like, is this how success should look like? Is this what I actually have been striving for? And the answer was no. And that was very sad. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think I understand you, of course. I got it a little bit earlier. I think this burnout from being a cool, strong, independent woman. But then what I see now, and what is very important, why I want people to hear this, I think it's actually very trendy now to call everything is disease, So let's call it a disease of strong, independent woman, because it's like a role play which will never last, You can play it, you can fool yourself, you can fool everyone around, and to protect yourself, what you will do, you will say, I'm good with that. I'm super happy with this. Look at me. I'm achieving. I have this and that. I pay whatever. I can pay 50% of expenses in my relationships. It's not a problem for me because I'm successful, because I earn it, I make it. But then something can happen, in life that will push you in the face, and you will face it that actually, it's not true. And we, as a women now, a lot are choosing the way by the brain. So something that is stable, right? So I would say, it's actually, you said that it's the easiest way to be independent for women.
I mean, I think it depends on a woman. Some women think that it's easier to just rely on men and like make it all happen, or rely on your family, on your father, or on someone else. But I think from my not very long life, but I managed to understand right now, to me, it would be so much easier to just focus on work 24/7, build another business, it's not easy, but it's easier than facing all those new realities that are happening. It's easier to hide in job than realize that you're unhappy. It's easier to build another business, go in a project, network, create this robot in a black suit who is going there, and not even in the black, even if you put some other suit, to earn money, than to actually face the thing that, are you still happy with doing what you're doing? Are you happy with people that are surrounding you? Is it something that actually brings you pleasure? Is this what... Like now I'm also checking in with my younger self, with my, Sofiia, who was 5 years old, 6 years old, and asking her, like, is this what she wanted? Is this what she dreamt about? Is this what she sacrificed so many things in life for? Because I moved abroad, I left my family. I could have stayed at home and live probably a much easier life than I have lived so far. I could have started in the first country where I moved, but I was always bored. I was always striving for more. And I knew that I had a vision in my head, like something that I'm going towards. And now as I'm here and like some puzzles of this vision is already realized, I'm like, but at what cost? And I mean, surprisingly, of course, I'm having also some health issues that are the reason of stress, of hard work, my feminine energy, or not feminine energy, female health, I guess, is suffering as well from that. So it's like your body is telling you that it's not okay. Your brain, your heart is everyone is screaming that it's not working. And you're still
there,
like,
done there.
yeah, let's go build another business and earn a bit more money. And you're like,
I think it's just we are using the stable strategy that we know, that you perfectly know, you work it, you think about this, it keeps you busy, and it works. So it will bring you some resources back. The point is we don't track it a lot, how much we spend on that, energy, on ourselves. But of course, if you don't know who you are except your work, your identity is not there, you know? You know that you're an entrepreneur, you're a business lady. For me, it was a big disaster when I realized that I actually come home and I have nobody there. I mean, even me, I have no idea who I am. And this is the point, I think, when you start to realize, something is wrong. But what we normally do, we just take more projects, right? Not because there will be more money, yeah? So you will buy a better bag, which is always good, of course. But it will not last forever. And this is the point what I really want to make women to reflect on, and men to understand that it's a very vulnerable world now. And it's very turbulent for women because very important that we use our brain a lot. And we choose this strategy not because we are strong, but because we are weak. I believe that strong, independent woman, it's a weak woman. Because the strongest woman is becoming, she will go also to sensitivity, to feel and to express that she is different. This is only brave women can do. And it's true. We're living in a world where we talked a little bit about this before the podcast. We had a time for coffee and we talked that women are scared of men and men are scared of women. This is the world what we are living in. So basically women are scared to show that they're sensitive because they're scared. So it's easy to be smart, to be independent. I don't need you. I can everything myself. You can participate. Or from the men's side is also, it's always something that is in between, And I think it's fear. I think it's being weak. Because if you're strong enough, you will be not scared to show your masculinity or femininity and achieve success on this level of mindset.
I agree with you that I think the concept of what is being strong is changing.
Yeah.
And this is not what we were taught at school. And this is not what we're shown on the TV. On the TV, in the books, when we meet other people, you see strong as this strong masculine form of strength, of power, of money, of relationships, network. And this is what many women have been applying throughout decades. I'm saying decades for the reason, because I don't think it was centuries. I mean, there are some women in the centuries, but it's more, unfortunately, an exception. And they had to apply masculine energies to achieve and to be where we are. And this is more I think right now we are talking a lot about equality and so on. And then usually a lot of men, I think, understand still equality as this like, okay, she came and she's doing this the same way as I was doing. And that's why she's here. And they're like, oh, I don't care whether you're a man or a woman. As long as you do your job and you follow the instructions, it's fine.
It's completely wrong.
And it's completely wrong because it's destroying who we truly are.
Yeah.
And I feel like even men do not really like it. I just don't believe that they like, I don't think it's even about women and men. I think it's about the balance of energies that should exist out there. And maybe then we will have less wars, more peace, less suffering, less poverty, less famine, because we would function on different energies. We would function on the energies of care, of emotions, of vulnerability, of not being scared to show who we truly are, because we would know that this is what makes us precious, and this is what makes us be where we are and do what we do. But this is so hard.
It's so hard. Especially, sometimes it looks like we try as a women also, we take a huge part in this, and men also, that we take so much masculinity, and we feel that it's a safe place for us, that sometimes even if men around are really doesn't feel like that, they don't feel like that, we're still trying to protect ourselves just because we're scared. So it's really that, like you said, that being strong now, it's different strong like it was before. So it's very important to reflect on this and to go on this fear. It's very scary.
Yeah. I also wanted to mention, as you were saying, I feel like we're also very lucky and privileged to actually be able to talk about this, because our mothers, and I mean, we're both from Ukraine, and they did not have the luxury to be vulnerable, strong. I mean, I don't know about your parents. I come from a family of very strong women who have been working, building businesses, taking care of kids, cleaning and cooking and all of that at the same time. And some women and men still believe that this is how it should be. And if you're not doing all of this, bad woman, wrong woman.
Yeah, I feel you.
And I feel like only now we are realizing that, unfortunately, I mean, no matter how the world have adapted and so on, and you can function like this. We're very strong. I mean, the bodies and all of this, you can build the stamina, you can make it work. But I don't believe you can function on these energies for a long time. At some point, you will either get sick or something will happen to you, and then you're done and you're destroyed. And like, for what?
This is very, very nice to talk about this. It's always pleasure to speak about difference in the man and woman and the energies. Yeah, let's not go super far from, because I know a lot of rational people will watch this and listen. But the point, what I want to say, the difference between of man and woman is some energy that men, they don't have it. And it's called sexual energy. And by the reason, I don't know, yes, of course, because the word, we are associating this with a process, with a sex, but it's actually energy of pleasure. This is why it's always this communication in between of women and men is so important, so precious at some point, because you have something that he does not have. And of course, men are better in achieving in a way of like dominating sometimes, in providing. It's just this view that they can be more like really cold-minded, and we have something different. But this is the superpower of women. The superpower of women is a sexual energy. It's energy of pleasure. I know it's maybe hard to believe at some point, but it's something that makes you feel so good and that makes feel everyone who is around you very good. Nothing is more attractive than happy person. But the point is, just naturally, women can feel it more. Be happy because of the flowers. Be happy because of this. Explore, smells, dresses. This is why we have all these collections of our clothes, and this is why it makes us happy. I'm joking, of course, it's a stereotype, but still. So it's something that is so valuable in this world. And what we do, we just make it smaller because we try to be a man, which is absolutely wrong strategy. And this is the point. I have a lot of clients, women, who are coming to me for achieving, because I work with their goals. Yeah, so they, for example, come and say, I want to have my company international more in this and that country, in this and that. And in 1 hour of talk, it ends up, I just want to come home and be happy and feel light. I want to have a joy. I want to be healthy, wealthy, and it's just a well-being. And well-being is not a well-doing. This is also very important. Of course, maybe you learned how to do, but it's a human being. Now you need to learn how to be.
True. I think I'm your perfect client. Because I'm right now at this stage. As I said, like I don't have answers yet because I have learned how to do, how to well do. And looking at my successes, where I work, with who I worked, how much I earned, and all of these things that I have been adding to my list to feel good about myself. Like I managed that. But as I said, like I did not, or I do not feel fully happy and fully fulfilled even. So I'm right now trying to taste the energies. And unfortunately, I'm doing it in a very harsh way. So the world is like, okay, Sophia, either you slow down and start being happy. And it might seem for someone as something so easy to do, just like go out and be happy. But if you have been functioning, and I'm saying functioning for a reason, in this masculine energies, leadership, doing, achieving energies for, I think I did it for 10 years already. It's so hard to change and it's so hard to switch.
Yeah, it's a strategy.
So I'm like, my clients right now are women that come, that they are more living in this like light energies and trying to make it work, but they go to another extreme. They're either fully dependent on their men or on their families or on their partners, or somewhere else, and they want to get it a bit more structured, organized, Excel sheets, finances, and I think this is also important. I do not regret, just to be sure, I do not regret the path that I walked, because I think it gave me the basis with which I can allow myself right now to calm down a little bit and to make it a bit easier and lighter, because I have the energy. I know I have the finances. I have some sort of things that are a bit more stable in my life, that my brain allows my heart to like step in a little bit, and then the brain is ready to move a bit to the background and allow me to play a little bit and to be a bit nicer and cheerful and lighter, and maybe not say yes to another idea of business or project or job. But I help on the contrary to the women who are on the other side, who have been in way too light energies for a long time, because I think it's also important. And I feel I wanted to ask you a question, because this is what a lot of people are scared of, and what I was scared as well. But like, if you go too much to the light and feminine energies, we're scared that there is no money there. We're scared that then we will be left with nothing, because we see this another extreme of like, I don't know, go meditate and manifest and write down your dreams and they will come true. And like, this is another thing that we are being told. And I think there are some people who are earning very good money on telling us those things. But I feel that the balance should be somewhere in between.
Sure, I believe that it's about form of presenting your way. So the point is, what is very important, that as a coach I always say, you choose not a goal, you choose a way. So when you choose the way and you go to your goal, you always have different options how you will do it, with which energy you will do it. When you go to the store, remember when we were kids, like you were running, woohoo, like looking at the flowers, enjoying the weather, or like it's rainy, wow, it's rain. Yeah, we'll jump around, or you just go and very serious and very closing down from the rain. So the point is, the goal and the result, the destination is still there. But the point, how you go through this way. What do you see? How do you enjoy? It actually sounds very bad now, because it's hard to catch what to do. And I really love to, I would like to come back a little bit that you said about that I came from more structured woman. Yeah, I had my rational plan. We had a joke that before the podcast also, that it's like Excel woman, if it's you. Put the point for yourself, because it's really true. Yeah, you're very rational. Actually, me not. I'm not. I'm completely from different background. I think I had to learn to combine it. And first I was very masculine. Then I tried to be very feminine, but it was absolutely like a childish, so it didn't work. You cannot fool yourself, you cannot fool people, so it was absolutely. But I had to reborn from ashes, so it's a different story. But what I wanted to say, for women who are very rational, what they try to do, I hear this every week on my sessions. When women are saying, I need to become more happy, yeah, I understand that. I need to more care about my feminine. So what you do? You put one more point in your task list. I mean, be more feminine. What's happening there? How you can put it in your task list? Like, I will meditate to become this, to do this and that. So you put it in a task list, and your brain does what? Takes it as one more task. So every time, for your brain and for your body is a task to do, and it seems like it's work. It's like workout. Why do you do that? This is also the big insight for me was working with the people and in coaching specifically, that it's easy hack what to do with your brain to program you for new things. Give it a pleasure. It needs to be a pleasure. So when you have a lot of stress at your work, whatever, with your family, with your boyfriend or not having a boyfriend, it's always stress. And what you need to do, your brain already stressed. And when you add one more task, the brain is like, enough, we cannot do that. And you will procrastinate. You will go out to the old strategies, to the things. So if you want to add new strategy in your life, new neural connections, you need to build them. But how to build the strategy which will work, and it's also about achieving, it's also about goals, you need to give it a pleasure. So it needs to be dopamine. It needs to be something that can enlighten you. It cannot be in your task list. This is the big mistake what you are doing, really. It's nice for discipline, yeah? Like you know that you need to put the time, but let it play a little bit. So give it a 15 minutes or give it some 30 minutes, but just do whatever. Don't write what you will do. This is, I think, where the energy starts to work because you have a little bit of, game. This is very important. I feel it. And for girls who are very feminine, yeah, which is actually not very often now in this world. I will be honest. I don't meet much people like that. So it's very rare, but it's also very interesting. I think for them it is about discipline. But what you said, that you started with a rational way and now you go more safely in this feminine, but it's just because you built the core that you can rely on. But femininity is also the core that women who wants to be more rational and more achieving can rely on. So it's a very deep, we will make a video about that, how to build this core and rely on this.
It is hard. But I mean, I feel like no matter where you are and where you started, the purpose of life probably is in finding balance. And at different periods of life, you will have different balance. Now, as I'm thinking, like what comes to my mind, because my parents are divorced and when my father left my mom, she had to be the core on the other side when she had to excel, disciplined, because she had to build life for my sister and me. And she did it for a certain period of time. And then once that was done, she got back into her feminine energy and started dating and going out and all of this. And like, this is, I feel like the best example to show how we shouldn't take things for granted, because it's easy to, like, once you learn something, you follow that idea, strategy, and like, you're like, okay, it worked and it's going to work. And then it might have worked at a certain period of time and it's great. It might have worked for you to finish your education because you had to be disciplined to get a degree. It might have worked at the start of your career because then you need to prove yourself a little bit more. But then at a certain point, it stops working and it might start taking more. And then it's good to go into a different energy. And then it might be this energy of femininity and then seeing what's there. And I mean, you said it to me as well when we met a few months ago, actually, that I was thinking, okay, what can I do? And I was like, okay, maybe I should have mornings for myself. And I think, yeah, we met exactly at that period when I was feeling probably at one of my worst, because I was just so exhausted by the end of the year. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to add it to my list and I'm going to put it in my calendar that I'm going to have 1 hour for myself and I'm going to do this and that and that. First, I meditate, then I do exercises, then I have breakfast, then I have
My
coffee.
favorite.
5 minutes for coffee, no more. And it never worked. It never worked exactly for what you're saying, that like there is just no space in your brain. And I also think what's happening right now in my life, like I also have been sharing, there are a lot of things and people that are leaving and that are being taken out physically out of my life. And it's very hard. I'm smiling now, but it's like, it's so tough and I'm crying so much. But I'm also realizing that this is, if I want things to work differently, I need to have space to accept things differently. And if I'm all in my stress and work and the things that they wear, no matter how much you might wish for your feminine energy to come, there is no space for it to come because you are just on your to-do list and stress. And then like the universe, the God, whatever you believe in, they're not going to drop another thing on you. So you just collapse. They're going to be like, okay, you chose to work 24/7. There is no time. There is no space for you to do something else. So it's either you physically take it out from your to-do list and be like, okay, this evening I'm doing nothing, or I'm free to things to come. And sometimes it happened to me so many times that I will be like, oh, I'm just going to stay at home and see what happens. And then someone texts me like half an hour later, like, hey, are you free tonight? Let's go out for a drink, or let's go dance, or let's go for this exhibition. And sometimes all you need to do is just free space for things to come, and they come.
Yeah, it's beautiful. You know me, I'm a master of manifestation, of very my big and crazy dreams. But sometimes it's also the step that you need to do is to have emptiness for emptiness, to just be nothing, do nothing, face whoever you are today. We are women, we are very different, yeah, day to day. So it's very important also to be okay with this calmness and emptiness. This is actually this is what is so addictive in achieving in whatever you do. It's actually very important that sports or alcohol or whatever you do or achieving is the same strategy for your mind. It's the same because you overdo yourself. Doesn't matter. You are drinking or you are in a gym. The point is the strategy is the same, but you will be healthier, yeah? So if you go to the gym. But the strategy is to shut down your mind and shut down who you are. And why it's so addictive? Because it gives you dopamine, yeah? It gives you reaction, and you almost don't face emptiness. This is why you take your phone. This is why you should talk to someone. This is why you need some interactions. And these interactions are so much that you lose yourself. And this is why when we have a breakup, when you lose your job, on where something is happening that you cannot control, you just cannot handle that because the emptiness is coming and you have no idea who you are in this emptiness. It's a big way. It's harder to be to go on this sensitivity and emptiness than to be a strong, independent, achieving woman. I think the successful woman for today, it's not the woman who has millions, really. And it's not the woman who looks like she's from the magazine, you know? It's different. It's woman who can be in her feminine energy and feel powerful in this energy. Even though she can cry, or she can be different, or she can be flirty, or she can be whatever, you know, at work.
True.
Yeah.
True. I think we're coming back to where we started, and I hope it got a bit more understandable. Like because it's one thing to understand with your head and another thing to understand with your heart. Like I felt for myself, I'm very smart. I think I'm very smart, very wise. But then my heart is like, okay, you're smart, but like we're not getting it. So it's just sometimes life gives you all these lessons and all these things for your heart to understand. And this is what you're saying about the strength is in this vulnerability, in the tears, in sensitivity, in emotions. And And that's what I'm saying, that being strong and independent is harder, because when you are in this emptiness and when some things, and I had so many things being taken out of my life before as well. And before, the solution was always to like, okay, I cry 1 week and I literally put myself a deadline and then I go and I achieve. But I had to, because you were alone, you were abroad, your money's running out, you are, well, for whatever reasons, your documents, your visa, all those things. Before, I couldn't afford that. I mean, I still feel like I could. I don't think there wasn't, maybe there was another way, but I want to believe that there was no another way. And right now, it's for the first time that I have a choice not to go into work. And I was so scared because, I am at this emptiness stage right now. And when I'm on my own and I'm lonely or I'm alone, it's very scary. It's very like to face yourself, to realize what you are and what you believe, and then also realize that probably what you believed in is not the case anymore, and these are not your values anymore. And it is hard, and it would be so much easier right now to just go and like, well, let's build another project, let's earn a bit more money, or let's do this or let's do that. I feel like that would be really much easier, but I'm choosing it the hard way. I think it's the hard way. I still do not know what's on the other side, but I feel like I'm also at the stage that I'm like, I just cannot do it another way. Like, it's just so many things are saying, and then it might be a bit more spiritual, but I believe that the good things are coming. I believe that to this emptiness, and the world is already showing you bits by bits. Like, I don't know, you got, for instance, I really have been doing very bare minimum in the normal job that I'm having in my real life, but people still come to me. So you don't always need to, and that's what I thought before, like I had to put myself out there, and maybe for a certain period you have to, because if you're not putting yourself out there, no one is going to know that you exist. But at some point, this brand starts working on you, and then people will be coming to you. And that's what's happening in my life. People are coming on me, even though I'm just like, I'm not there at all. So they're still finding me, which I think is a good way. And then again, to this emptiness, there are more things, more energies, some different ones that are coming. And what's left for me is to just say yes and be able to accept them at the moment. Because if you're sitting out there with your emptiness, sometimes the good things might come.
You said so much. I want to comment everything, but I think what I really want to say is, you said I cannot come back. I like go back to that strategy what I was using. Ooh, now it will be something that I will try to do not so heavy. Some information that explains all of this.
Go
you know
heavy.
That we have a spiral dynamic. So basically, we have levels of development which we go through when we are growing.
Like a Maslow period.
Yes. And in this case, when you go in achieving, it's like, it's not even that you made it. So it's just the level before spirituality. So the point is that when you're in achieving mode and when you try to prove everyone and you get your millions or whatever you want as a goal, it's a level where you need to still to be bright, to be in it integral reality. You need to still go through 3 levels after. You understand? 3. I mean, this is, it's not done. It's not you make it. Huh?
No.
You're in such a low level in this pyramid when you are in achieving mode. So then you face the bigger like mission and you understand, oh my God, I actually have a mission in life. This is what actually the purpose, they call it purpose in life. Because when you want to grow and when you go to the new level of reality, you start to think, I do have one and everyone have it. So this is what I always say. You always have the purpose. You just need to be open to face it and to feel it. And of course, you can use the coaches to help you to go to this way and to understand this. But this is what I say, the level, when you think that achieving is like the biggest thing, you can categorize even the people who are around you. You can ask them what they dream about. And if they say that their dreams are Maserati, Porsche, whatever, having, being famous. It's a lot in show business. I want to be famous. Nah, 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 nah. Listen them, and they will say what they want, and you will understand which level is this. Because people who are becoming really worldwide and really changing the world, it's people who could go to achievement, go to spirituality, understanding the purpose, the mission, and then put it together. And this is what you said. Some people can stuck on achievement until the end of the life, and they will never be happy. So it will always be this emptiness, something uncomfortable. And they can also stuck on a level of spirituality. So when they just stuck in meditation, they go to Bali and stay there. This is the level also. You need to be very strong to understand the level where you are and to make a choice every day to grow. And this is when you understand that you are on a way and it's still levels to go. You will see it easier. You will see, wow, I'm so happy. Look, these people are shitting in my face, so I probably have to say no. But then you ask yourself, what are these people? And surrounding is very important. Of course, if you see always people who are running and just killing themselves at work or in other spirituality way, like you said, of course you will follow. You can jump out from this, but you need to first, you are not able yourself probably to remove these people from your environment. But what you can do, you can add people with a new mindset. And this is something I think it's valuable to add in the end.
True. I think this is also what I'm trying to work on. I feel like my big strength is actually networking and bringing people together. And I felt like I'm unrealized HR officer or something because whenever I meet a person, I'm like, oh, you should meet this person and that person. And maybe you can do business together or maybe you can help someone. And I use it now as a superpower and I'm actually making money out of it because it's something that comes easy to me. And I would do it even if people would not pay me. I still would do it because this is what I love doing and this is what I'm naturally good in, I think. And I also realized the power, as they say, you cannot be what you cannot see. And it's not always about it's easy to look at, I don't know, Michelle Obama on the TV and be like, of course she made it because she's the first lady and she had Barack next to her. But then, and then she lives in the US and all of these things. But it's harder to have the environment that is around you. And sometimes I feel like finding your people might be very, very hard. You probably would say right now, if the energy is right, then the people will come. And this is what I'm also thinking of right now. You have to get the energy right. And if people are not there, then probably something is wrong about you. And this is also tough to understand, that it's not all the people around you that are assholes, but it's something wrong with you that you need to work on, and maybe something that you have been hiding and not facing yourself even. So
I wouldn't say wrong. I will interrupt you, because if you will look at this, imagine the whatever level of growth, yeah? So if you look, you will just clearly understand, I'm just now on this level. I want to go there. And then you understand you're not wrong, you are on the way, but you already passed, 4 levels, for example. You already here, wow, you're proud of yourself, but then your thoughts and your doubts and your thoughts about purpose or what you do wrong or your environment, they will not look so weird and so painful. It will not frustrate you. You understand, I just go to the new level and it gives you so much energy, so much empowering thoughts. And it's my favorite. This is why I like to see and coaching, better, I would say, than definitely people who are listening us, because we are here as a professional colleagues, I would say, even though we don't, in a way. And this is the point, that people are coming to you. When they come to you, they are ready. They don't know it, they don't understand, then maybe they use the old strategies, they don't have new ones, but they are ready unconsciously, So they come to do something, even though a lot of them can be afterwards like going down, but it's a deep talk. We'll not go into this, but you are ready. If this thought is in your mind that you're ready, if you're listening this now, you are ready Just take it as empowerment, take the insight. And if something is triggered to you, either on this podcast, either around you or some people, some thoughts, it means your old reality does not exist anymore because you would not doubt, You don't doubt something that you're sure of. You will never ask extra questions because, okay, yeah, 2 + 2, it's 4. And then you gain more information, it's very deep.
It is deep. It is. But I feel like ask questions, realize what works, what doesn't work, check in with yourself constantly. I read this phrase recently where like iPhones, we keep upgrading every year or even more frequently than every year. And it's always painful, but I think that in the end, we're happy. And you said a very important thing to look at your past, because I also have it in me sometimes as you want more and you always want, and you're like, okay, next level, next level, next level. Now, and you want more and you forget to be grateful for what you already achieved. And B, also look at your past, no matter how painful it might be right now, like you probably have been already in a similar type of pain. Like it is
Yes.
probably different pain because now you are different. You are already stronger. But at that moment of life, when you were hurt and it also seemed like something you cannot go through, and you said it right, if it comes to your life, it means you can go through it. You already are ready to face it. And then if you manage it in the past, you will basically just do it the same way, right? I mean, maybe not the same way, but you will still face it and you will be a better version of yourself. So seeing this light in the end of the tunnel is very important. And I think for me, what I was puzzled for a few weeks until recently, I didn't see the light in the end of the tunnel. I was just constantly in this pain and suffering because so many things were changing. And this was so hard to allow myself to be in these emotions and in this vulnerability and this pain. So if you are going through that right now, allow it to happen. It's there for a reason. It probably is unlocking the new levels within you.
Definitely, yeah.
And then the light in the end of the tunnel is going to appear. It might be blurry. It might be far, but it's there. And
It's very powerful. Thank you. It's very powerful advice for you. Such a great finishing of our podcast, actually. The time is running out. And from my side, this is something that happened to me recently, what I understood, that life and universe is like a chat GPT. Answer is depending on what question you will ask. So when you ask why I cannot do this or why it's not happening like that, it will give you all the answers in the world why it's not happening. And you will feel fault, you will feel frustrated, you will feel miserable. But when you ask how I can do that or achieve that, or when you ask what are the good qualities that I can use for, you will have even bigger list what you can do, how you can empower and how you can move. So I think it's a great finishing of our podcast. And, I really hope, guys, that you got the insight or trigger that will help you to move to another level. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you.
That we had an amazing talk. So I will leave the pages of Sophia and of me down, so under the video, and you can follow, you can write something, you can write your questions. And of course, I will be very grateful if you will subscribe the channel, because it's something that gives immediate feedback that you like it, you look forward for the next talks, and see you soon.